Hello everybody, I'm Parrish Alford. This is John Davis. We're here with rapid reaction from the Hugh Freeze press conference. JD, the biggest news, I guess, is the Hugh Freeze is happy here reaction. We've heard so much the last 24 hours about the vacancy at Florida since Will Muschamp was fired on Sunday, and Freeze's name immediately attached to that job. It was attached to that job before.
And really, and I will say this: it was attached by a couple. There's a couple people that think that he has no chance. There's a couple of their websites down there that he shouldn't be a candidate. I mean, I would look at him, but I think at the same time, Hugh Freeze is a Mississippi guy. He is going to get some kind of contract extension and raise, deservedly so. And I don't think there's any reason for him to uproot his children from Oxford and knowing how much they like it here just to go to Gainesville.
Well, you know what? It becomes a situation of maybe it's not about money. No, number one, I think Hugh Freeze will be the coach here next year. But when you're making $3 million, you're going to get a raise. You know, $1 million here, $1 million there. I mean, at that point, I mean, at what point is money? Do you have enough money? You know, I think he's going to get a big salary here.
Right.
And as Ross Bjork told us after the press conference, he feels like, you know, the health of the institution financially is as good as it's ever been for athletics. The SEC network is a big part of that. In his words, he feels like Ole Miss can compete with anybody in the country in terms of salary. So, I think
I agree with all that.
If Hugh Freeze was to leave, I mean, I'm saying it's not about money. And the only thing I could think that it would be about would be the possibility of coaching in a talent-rich high school state like Florida where you have so many recruits nearby. But like I said, I think Hugh Freeze is here next year. Now, the comments today were how much he likes it here, how much his family likes Oxford, how much he likes working for Dan Jones and Ross Bjork. You know, look, we've heard coaches say that and leave for other jobs, so you take that cautiously.
Right, I do think he's genuine when he says that,
right.
And I think, you know, if you've grown accustomed to Oxford, it's hard to move back to Gainesville. That's not a knock on Gainesville, but having lived there myself, it's a much different town, and it's a bigger town. So again, there's so many things involved here with a coaching search. You go to Florida to win a national championship. I do think you can win a national championship here. I think the pieces were in place right now. I mean, look at it. We're talking about 2 more wins and them being high up in the college football playoff.
Games decided by a combined 7 points.
You know, so I'm not convinced that you can't win championships here. I mean, I think at the end of the day, whoever Florida gets, they're going to have to get somebody that has that goal of winning championships, because you don't sign up to go to the University of Florida to just go what Will Muschamp's gone the last 4 years.
All right, on the field, Ole Miss at Arkansas. It's a 2:30 game on Saturday. Freeze says he believes that the team is healthier than it's been. It's rejuvenated after the open date. Really, almost like a 2-week open date with the Presbyterian game coming before last week's actual open date. So, you know, they're looking healthy. Forecast is rain, 80%. Might be a wet game. Who do you think that favors?
Arkansas.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Running team.
No doubt.
At home. That's right. That could play into it, and we'll see where it goes from there. As Bo Wallace was telling us, he thinks he'll see some wet ball drills this week in practice, but that's a big deal for a running team.
I agree, and I think again it also kind of what you know, we were talking about on the podcast earlier about a team that won a game. You asked about what that next win was like, or that next week of preparation. Right. I don't think there's any doubt. Arkansas just got a huge boost of confidence. Them beating LSU with Ole Miss up next is not ideal for Ole Miss. That doesn't mean they can't go up there and win, but Ole Miss is going to have to show up ready to play. They're going to have to not worry about any of the elements, and it looks like it's going to be bad elements, typical of this time of year up there. You have got to realize you got 2 games left. They're both going to be dogfights. How big of a dog are you going to be?
I thought it was interesting to see that Arkansas rushed for only 95 yards. Now, they did a great job of stopping the run against LSU, but they rushed for only 95 yards against LSU. They're averaging 232 a game. That's 4th in the SEC. We know the rushing game is going to be very good. The question is going to be, you know, has 2 weeks, has the open bye week. Does Ole Miss have a plan to limit that run game better? Can they put people in the right place and execute better than they did against LSU, which ran for 264 yards, and Auburn, which ran for 253.
And I think part of Arkansas' success has been against lesser competition, the non-SEC teams, but I still think that they've got enough ability to run the ball. And you're right, how does Ole Miss adjust anyway? I mean, regardless of if Arkansas has had success against SEC teams or not, you've got to come in with the mindset of we're going to do better than the last 2 games running the ball. We're going to do a better job of stopping that other team we're playing. So it's all about how they play, how they prepare, and how they tackle.
Folks, that's it for this week's edition of Rapid Reaction. Check us out this week on the blog. Come back here. We'll have lots of good content. You can read us at oxfordcitizen.com as well.